You're listening to Made Famous. You're watching Made Famous TV, man. Make sure you get locked in and make sure you follow them on all their social media platforms. Let's get it.
Made Famous TV.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl Shamika, and you're now tuned in to Made Famous TV. And right now, I'm sitting down with DJ Rico Banks.
Yo, what's happening? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Hanging in there.
What's going on?
Just chilling. So, DJ Rico Banks, let's start from the beginning, man. How did you get into DJing?
DJing, the way I started, man, I actually come from a family of DJs. So my uncle DJ and my cousin DJ. A lot of people don't know my cousin. My cousin is DJ Scrap Dirty with the Violator DJs. But a lot of people don't really know my uncle. My uncle is DJ Wiz from Jackson, Mississippi. Back in the 90s, my uncle used to DJ pretty much on every radio station down there in Jackson. He DJ'd on 99, 97, Y101, and 90.1. So like that's where I get a lot of style from. My uncle, he used to babysit me when I was younger. So when we used to be at the house, man, he used to always just be practicing before he'd get ready to go out and do his club gigs and stuff like that. So he used to play in the Sonic Boom too. So him and Scrap, all of them used to be in the band. So they was in the band with Fingerprint and all the other DJs and stuff like that. So they know the whole circle, Asiatic, Black, Joe Nasty, like everybody.
Gotcha. So you surrounded by it. So it was inevitable that you was going to become a DJ.
It wasn't, man. It really kind of happened randomly. It was like no plans for me to become a DJ. I was actually I started producing and making beats when I was at 15. The DJing thing is just something I kind of just got into when I got back to Jackson when I started college. So when I got back to Jackson, I was just kind of like going around with like my cousin and his friends. They was already doing parties. So they were doing parties at spots like World Famous and stuff like that. They were doing more high school stuff. So I seen them messing around with the DJ program, which was virtual DJ. And I was just like, man, let me try to mess around with it. Cause I was big into like the chop and screw movement. So this was like 2007. So this was like fresh off that. So once I seen this program where you could do it kind of easy, that's what I started working with. So I was working with the basketball team when I was in college. So the trainer on the team just so happened to be a rapper. So with me making beats since high school, I was trying to get him to get some of my beats and stuff like that. So we was on the road, man, and he seen me messing around with the DJ program, and he was just like, man, I want you to be my DJ. And I was just like, bet, let's do it.
Just
and
like
it just
that.
all started there. I didn't know nothing about music management. I didn't know nothing about the music industry, nothing. And it just so happened he had a manager and stuff like that, and he was moving and shaking, and I didn't have no idea. And the rest, that's how we got here.
Gotcha. So, but you started off as a producer, because I hear that from quite a few DJs, maybe not all DJs, but you hear that a lot of them start as producers and they start DJing, or some start off as producers and producers.
I think we all producers want to be rappers. We want to be rappers at one point.
Right. So would you say you have more of a passion for DJing or producing?
Man, me, actually, I got more a passion for hustling than anything else. So everything for me comes from the hustle. So before I was even making beats, I was selling mix CDs and stuff like that in the high school. So like that was really like my first taste of like just the music industry anyway. So it's like when I first started DJing, I didn't want to be a club DJ or nothing. I just wanted to be like a mixtape DJ. So like that was like, I want to be DJ Drummer. So, you know, like at this point, I done put out like maybe like 600 mixtapes and something like that. So like that was like my thing from like the beginning to like just be like DJ Drummer.
Wait a minute, we ain't gonna just gloss over that 600 mixtapes. First of all, that's a lot to put out there, but that speaks a lot about you. So when you talk about being in love with the hustle, like that lets folks know that while some of us be out here sleeping, and I'm a sleeper, I get my 8 hours of sleep every night, there's somebody out there outworking you.
You got to have a plan with it. It's a method to the madness. Like the one thing that I realized, especially like when I started getting hotter as a DJ, like locally from the clubs and stuff like that, is on the mixtape side. Like every DJ that's big, they get to a point to where they do 100 mixtapes a year because their name gets so hot to where it's just got so many people just hitting them up for work. So I was like, man, I gotta do that, and I gotta get to that place if I want to be like a DJ drummer or something like that. So I shot for like 100 mixtapes one time, right? So I like what my method was. I was just like, man, I'm gonna try to put out a mixtape every week. So you know, it's like what, maybe like 60 some weeks in a year or something like that.
Yeah,
30,
like 52 weeks.
Yeah. So once I started getting to like 30 tapes, I started doing like maybe like 2 mixtapes a week. So the number started doubling. Then I just started doing the tape every other day. The next thing you know, if the year was over and I did like 114, then the year after that, I came back and did like 134. And it's just like they just added up.
So when you say, because you know, when I think of mixtapes, I think of 2 types of mixtapes. I think of mixtapes with a collection of songs, and then I think of you know, from different artists, various artists, kind of like a compilation. And then I think of like the artist mixtapes where you have just the one artist or whatever. Then you have you know, a DJ that take that thing to another level. Exactly. So was it like you were doing a combination of these
Well, I did a combination of 4 things actually. So with me being a producer, I put out instrumental mixtapes. So that was one thing, exactly, right? I did the instrumental mixtapes. Another thing that I did was the artist specialty mixtape. Let's say like Joe Blow from down the street hit me up and he want me to host his mixtape. I did those. But then I just did like compilations with certain songs on there and stuff like that too. And then the 4th one was the traditional mixtape, you know, the hot songs, we mixing, we live DJing on here, it sounded like it's the radio. So those was like the 4 different types that I stuck to. And I just did that. And I still do it like to this day.
Really? Yeah. Is it more digital now instead of having to press up CDs and stuff, or are we still pressing up CDs?
Of course. That's how I got to 600.
Really? Pressing up CDs?
Yeah. Well, no, the digital.
Oh, the digital.
Like when I first started, we were still pressing up CDs. So we'll still have to go get the packs of 50 to 100. Yeah. We'll have to stack them up, put the inserts in, and do all that different type of stuff. So that's what I used to do in college. So that was pretty much the same thing like from high school. So in college, what I used to do is before I knew anybody to press up the CDs and stuff like that, I'd go to the bookstore. And you know, the packs of the CDs, I'll go buy a pack like 25 CDs, 50 CDs. I buy like a marker and stuff like that. And I just burn them off on my computer one by one. And then I just hand them out. And I just used to do that. Yeah, I just do that like while I be passing out, like, because we was at the club right down the street in Jackson. So we had Dreams. So Dreams is right there on Capitol Street, 5 minutes away from school. So we'll be passing out flyers to the club. We got 5,000 flyers. And while we just passing out flyers, I'll be like, here go my mixtape.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we just do that every week.
yeah, that's a lot to be putting out. Take a huge investment though, right? Just to be putting out CDs like that. So were you working mostly with artists from Jackson or within that region, or were you just working with artists from all over, whether it be an artist mixtape or grabbing hot songs?
Okay, when I first started, it was with artists in Jackson. So it was a lot of local talent because, you know, everybody else is like right there directly with us. But before I started working with the artists, no, I take that back. Before I started working with the artists, I was doing my own compilation. So I was doing my own this custom mixes first. But I think I only did like maybe like 1 or 2 mixtapes like that before I started working with artists and stuff like that. So the first artist mixtape that I did that a lot of people don't even know that I did was Coke Boomaye. I did his Translation 2 mixtape. I did that with DJ Bang Bang. So me and DJ Bang Bang ended up working together and we ended up doing maybe like 10 mixtapes together and stuff like that. But then a lot of the stuff that we did was like, I had my own like group. So we had our own group of artists and stuff like that. So we had like guys like Hollywood Love Doe Hicks and stuff like that. So every time we used to come up with new songs and stuff like that, I used to just put them out on mixtapes. So that's how we got like a lot of the first songs that look new. That's how we got a lot of those songs out too, besides us like playing them in the club and doing the parties around. Put them on mixtapes, get them up out there.
Gotcha. Is there any song that you came across? Because you know y'all DJs, y'all be getting the exclusive. Like songs be in y'all inbox for like a year before it blow up. So is there
Uh-huh.
any song that you came across early and you knew it was a hit that eventually became this hit?
Well, we came across. I'll tell you about a song, then I'll tell you about some artists we came
Okay.
across, because that's really how we got big, because of the
Okay.
artist connection.
Okay.
A song that I came across that I hate that I missed out on. I got the original version of "Y'all Better Not Fight." The song that ended up being Boosie's song. I got the very first version before it was Boosie's song, the original version, the Chopper version before Chopper sold it to Boosie. Like a lot of people don't know that Chopper, the same Chopper with Chopper Style.
Oh, Chopper Style, chop. Okay.
Y'all Better Not Fight was his song. So the artist remember the artist I told you that I was working with, the one who was the trainer.
Yes.
Him and Chopper was working on song. He an artist. He's out here in Texas with me now too. His name Workhorse.
Okay.
So he was working with Chopper at the time. So at the time they had like how we talk about the CDs, they had a single CD that was printed up. So it had like maybe like 3 to 4 songs on there. So it had like 2 Workhorse songs on there, 2 Chopper songs on there. So they had a song together, and one of the Chopper songs that was on there was "Y'all Better Not Fight."
Missed out on
it. Dead serious. It was Chopper, "Y'all Better Not Fight." And then I'll tell you, like 6 months later, I remember talking to Workhorse, and he was just like, "Bro, they sold that song. You just boosted the song." Now I'm like, "Bro, what song are you talking about?" the "Y'all Better Not Fight" song. I said, "There's no way." He said, "Yeah." 3 months later, I got the song in the email. A month and a half later, they playing in the club and it's going crazy. And I'm like, "Bro, this is that same song."
Right.
That's the only song that I missed out on that I was just like, I probably should have played that song.
Yeah, because it's a big thing, because being attached to those records can propel your career as a DJ, you know, and then that artist remember like, "Yo, you broke my record for me," so they want to bring you with them.
And see, me, I was blessed because this is where it goes to the artist. So when I was like maybe like 19 or 20, we broke Travis Porter and Waka Flocka at the same time in Mississippi, like before they signed the deal. So we got them right before they signed the deal. Like we was part of the DJs that actually broke them throughout the South. So in Mississippi, the way that we kind of did it, Travis Porter had just put, I don't know if you remember this or not. A lot of people don't remember this. It was a moment where Travis Porter was beefing with Young Dro. And it was like a random beef because Young Dro and so Young Dro and Young LA, they had out the Black Boy White Boy CD. It was a Black Boy White Boy CD. So Travis Porter had a song called Black Boy White Boy, and it was really more so some mixtape stuff. And they had a little quick beef or whatever, right? So it was like right after that. So we was kind of starting to play Travis Porter a little bit, but it was before they even did the Go Shorty Go song. So it was like we had to end up with a connection with them way before then. So by the time the Go Shorty Go song came out, we was already playing the song. And we was the first ones that put the song on the radio. And the way that we put it on the radio was we was doing a party event. So at the time, and I got to go shout out to DJ Finesse for this, because DJ Finesse left me and my partner at the time, DJ Rico Rich. He left us in the studio at 99 to record our own commercial. So we was sitting there trying to pick a song. We were like, "Man, we got to find a song that's on radio. Pick a song. And we just couldn't find a song. And we got tired of trying to look for a song. So we was playing Travis Porter at the time, and we put Go Shorty Go on the commercial. So they ended up some type of way getting them spins and stuff like that, because people were telling them they kept hearing the song. So from there, they ended up doing the Streets Are Us mixtape with Waka Flocka. And we was playing "Oh Let's Do It" because the song "Oh Let's Do It" had just came out, but it was on mixtapes and stuff like that too. DJ Spins had it on the mixtape. So like a couple of guys who I was working with, actually, like part of the group, they would hood reach now. So this kind of like how all that happened, and they got there. We put Go Shorty on the radio on the commercial. So when the Streets Are Us mixtape came out, they sent us a big box of maybe like 5,000 mixtapes. Like this when they first come out, when the CD first come out, it was just a big box that had like maybe like 10 shoe boxes, 10 to probably like 15 shoe boxes inside of it, all filled with CDs, inserts, sleeves, everything. We packaged all those CDs. They were like, do whatever y'all want to with them. If y'all want to sell them, sell them. If y'all want to pass them out, do that. We flooded the whole state with those CDs.
Okay.
Next thing you know, Travis Porter, Go Shorty Go blows up. They shoot the video to it. They invite us to the video shoot. We couldn't go to the video shoot, but some of their first shows that they started getting was in Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah, so from that just took us through the roof.
Propelled you. That attachment, those relationships. And see, because you know where I'm about to go now, because you just spoke about relationships, right?
Exactly.
You know, there's this movement, it appears to be now with, I won't say all independent artists, but, or not, well, not even just independent, but it seems like there are some artists who feel like DJs are not needed in this musical climate, you know, because of the internet. I mean, but honestly, before the internet and streaming became popular, you had people, you still had artists saying that DJs weren't needed. So talk about that. How do you feel about that, and explain why you feel like DJs are needed or are not needed? Like,
okay, so I also work as a music manager, right?
Okay.
So me personally, I think it's kind of like a double-edged thing. Like right now, you technically really don't need DJs, but you need a certain type of DJ. It's kind of a difference. Like if you could find a DJ that's more so a traditionalist, like he's into like helping the A&R, he's into helping you find the beats, he's into helping you get in the clubs, he's into helping you do the groundwork, do the parties, do everything that's gonna actually blow you up. That type of DJ is always important, because that's how you're gonna make the money, that's how you're gonna last, that's how you're gonna have a real career. But if it's a DJ who's just getting email songs and he's just playing the songs that everybody else is playing, and he's not trying to find the artists that actually hot, the artists that actually have potentials to actually get to the labels, get to the next stops and things like that, I don't think that those DJs are important. They're the same thing as a Spotify list. You can just go to Spotify for that. Like even when I was DJing in clubs in 2012 and 2013, like the club on the hill go turn on Sirius XM at the beginning of the night and stuff like that. So it's really no difference between the DJs who playing the same songs and the Spotify playlist, because they're doing nothing different. But the DJs is actually playing the independent artists and actually giving artists who don't have the big platforms a chance. Those are always important, because what happens when, let's say, all the artists get the big head? And now they're like, you got to do this, you got to do that. But it's like, bro, there's so much talent that's out here already that's just floating around. So what happens to that talent?
Gotcha.
So it's an interesting thing. So I think that certain type of DJs are important and some DJs not. Like what I try to tell a lot of people is like, most of the time, like now I don't really work with like a lot of hip hop and rap too much. And the reason being is because if you look at hip hop and rap, like everything has been devalued. And the reason it's been devalued is because we don't put an actual value on ourselves. What I mean is, like, if you look at the EDM DJs, you got EDM DJs that make millions of dollars off touring. How much do the hip hop and rap DJs make off touring? And hip hop is like just touring by themselves.
Right.
And hip hop and rap is the biggest genre in the music right now. So that by itself shows you that it's an issue and it's a problem there. And the thing that I learned over the years is it's not necessarily a corporate problem. It's more so of a in-house problem with ourselves, because it's like, if we're not making sure that, like how you asked about the DJs, if we prepare these artists, if we don't give back and make sure the DJs eat who actually help them get in those positions, then we're going to still be in the position that we're at right now.
Right.
And that's me talking from the management side of it. That's not even the DJ side, because you got to do that.
Yeah.
Like you have to. So that's kind of my opinion on it.
Yeah, yeah. And I can see that. So does that kind of make you, as a DJ, speaking from the DJ side, does that make you kind of not want to work with as many independent artists, or kind of make you picky, or like, oh, you know, if I work with this artist, then I'm gonna have to charge them some money because I'm using my platform to help them get exposure?
Well, truthfully speaking, me, I never fought the artists, because even till this day, I rarely charge artists over $100. Even to this day, this day. And the reason being is because I know and I understand that most artists when they just now started doing music,
Mm-hmm.
they have no idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's artists that's been doing music for 10 plus years who don't even know how the music industry works for real.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what the record labels are looking for out of them. They have no